Houston Texans in 2022, not the best year. Let's go through the best days or biggest days of 2022. I won't call them the best, but biggest days of 2022. And it's going to be capped off with a good day for Texans fans, good day of hope, good day of potentially looking ahead. January 13th, David Culley fired. Last head coach fired. It was a disastrous run for David Culley. No one else would have hired David Culley to be their head coach. Houston Texans did it. Now he's counting money after being one and done, living his best life. Probably in Sparta, Tennessee. Many believe that now it was time to get a long-term solution. Was it going to be Josh McCown, the McCown train? Was it going to be fired up? Was it going to be Jonathan Gannon, defensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles? Was it going to be Brian Flores after leaving the Miami Dolphins? However, the Flores lawsuit dropped, and Lovie Smith was the guy. Second straight year, you hired someone that no one else in the NFL would have hired to be their head coach. But I will admit, at the press conference, it felt normal. Grading on a curve, but it felt normal. Lovie Smith at least brought a little bit of stability, a little bit of credibility during a time in which PR couldn't have been worse for the Houston Texans. Lovie Smith, maybe the good guy, the right guy for this year, but I anticipate the first big day of 2023 being Lovie Smith being out and another coaching search beginning. Probably the most significant day when it comes to long-term of 2022, Deshaun Watson traded to Cleveland. Nick Caserio's best work. He had limitations. He had a lot of stuff going on. He stood firm. Cleveland came in, gave Deshaun Watson $230 million. Nick Caserio makes the trade. I don't think if the Browns could do it over again, they would do it. They probably say different. I don't really believe them. It was disastrous. Deshaun Watson actually played worse than Jacoby Brissett. Deshaun Watson didn't handle things good PR-wise. The Browns roster not looking great. There's a chance that this draft pick in 2024, the first rounder, it might resemble what the Lions are getting from the Rams and what the Seahawks are getting from the Broncos this year. I'm just saying. However, you got to draft well. April 28th through 30th, the NFL draft. There were some bright spots. Dameon Pierce, one of the steals of the draft. Christian Harris looks good, but you got to draft good in the first round. Ask Rick Smith. The Texans drafted Derek Stingley over Sauce Gardner. Now, system, all that type of stuff, it comes into play when it comes to how Stingley looks compared to Sauce, but those two are always going to be linked. Question marks, to say the least. Kenyon Green, one of the most disappointing Texans rookies, maybe of all time, the guy that you felt most safe about, now the most uncertainty heading into next year. October 17th, maybe one of the best days of the year, Jack Easterby, the biggest fraud in the history of the NFL, terrible front office guy, shady, shisty sociopath, and a POS. Not calling you a POS, person of service, because you're here to serve. I'm here to serve everybody. I'm here to do whatever I do, and I'm going to blame everybody, blah, blah, blah. He's out of here. Thank God. Don't let the door hit you in the butt. Best of luck on your future endeavors. Maybe you can con someone else into getting to be a front office guy or whatever, although I doubt it. Damn shame that it ever came to this, but at least he gone. December 4th, Deshaun Watson returns, the most anticipated game of the season. He looks bad. Kyle Allen looks worse. Texans lose. Browns win. Texans fans get to boo Deshaun a little bit, which brings us to today. Final day of 2022, and it's going to be a fun one. The draft is coming up. Who do you want in the first round? Who do you want with the number one overall pick, assuming they have the number one overall pick? Do you want Bryce Young? Do you want Will Anderson? Do you want Jalen Carter? Do you want CJ Stroud? You're going to get to see all four of those guys on your TV right now. Who do you want with that second first-round pick? Do you want a wide receiver? Do you want TCU's Quentin Johnston? You're going to get to see him. What if you're one of these people that's already looking to 2024 and you're talking about tanking for Caleb Williams? How about the skill position guys that aren't draft eligible this year? You're going to get to see Bowers from Georgia, tight end, probably going to be a first-round pick. Marvin Harrison Jr., people are talking about him being a top 3 pick. We're very familiar with the work of his father, so you're going to get to look at them. So pick one, you get to look at it. Next year, 2024, the draft, you get to look at it. And oh, by the way, I'm kind of a running back guy. Jahmyr Gibbs out of Alabama, Deuce Vaughn out of Kansas State. This is going to be a big day. It's been a rough 2022, but it's going to be a fun day today. Sit back, dream, do whatever you got to do, booze, act a fool, do whatever. And remember, no matter what happens in 2023, we're in this together.